Now combination 5 is a little bit shorter and it's very upper body oriented. So it's a good combination to link with others if you have a little bit more time. For combination 5, you're going to need a body bar. This one is 15 pounds. You can go up or down in weight depending upon your level. She's sitting on a 55 centimeter Physio ball and she's got 5-pound weights at her feet. Now it's very important the way she's sitting on the Physio ball. She's straddling it so she can squeeze it with her inner thighs. Her feet are drawn back behind her. We're going to start with a bicep curl. So let's pop that body bar into an underhand grip. Good. Now listen, just to sit on the ball like this requires abdominal activation. If she were to let her stomach go, she'd probably fall off the ball. So she's going to lift her pelvic floor, wrap the transverse abdominis, ribs closed, the lats are wide and down, and her head and neck are extending very comfortably off her shoulders. She's locking the elbows in place, and she's going to come up, 2, and down. Just for now, let's just do that. And up, 2, and down. Now she's going to add an inner thigh squeeze, and look at how you're going to grow. Right, and down, 2, and up, 2, great, and down. That's awesome. And you're really lifting your pelvic floor as you squeeze your legs. Up, 2, and down. Excellent. And you're going to wrap your transverse abdominis. Yes, and down. She's really working hard. And pull, working those biceps, and down. Good. Let's do 3 more. Really pull that body bar. And down. Think pelvic floor on the way down as well. And up, wrap the transverse and lift and stay lifted as you lower. And this will be her last one. And now she's going to stay there. And with the upper body and the inner thighs in a small pulse. And pulse. And pulse. There we go. And pulse. Good. And pulse. Keep going. And this is just to ensure that she really hits that bicep, wraps that transverse abdominis, lifting up the pelvic floor, and really squeezing the inner thighs. I know it's getting a little dire right now, but let's do 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Excellent work. All right, let's take an overhand grip on the body bar. Bring the hands a little bit closer together. Now we're going to move on to the shoulders, abs, and inner thighs. So lats are wide and down, transverse is wrapped, pelvic floor is lifted. She's going to squeeze her inner thighs together and come up in a row. And open. And up, 2, 3, 4, and down. Good. As she lifts her elbows, she draws her lats down towards her hips. And lats down as the elbows rise. Good. And down. Good. And she's really pulling in her belly button. And down. Good. Wrapping that transverse lift. And down. Good. And she's really taking some lovely deep breaths, which is so important because we want to send oxygen to those muscles. She's working really hard in her upper body, and she wants to send oxygen to those muscles to keep them fortified. And down. Let's do 2 more slowly, and she's really squeezing those inner thighs. Work those legs, and down. Excellent. And 1 more. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hold it. And we pulse. And up. And up. Excellent. And up. And as she's pulsing, she's wrapping that transverse abdominis and really fighting the lats wide and down, because in this position it's really easy to shrug the shoulders up, but she's not doing it all. She's really going to work to keep those lats down. Let's do 1 more and relax. Woo, okay. She's going to shoot her legs out in second position after putting down that body bar, and I want you to take a little inner thigh stretch. So she'll shoot her legs out, good, and relax over the ball. And this is a nice stretch for the spine. She's really happy that she's not working her upper body at this moment. And she's stretching her inner thighs, which at this point are probably getting pretty tired. It's a really great total body workout, little emphasis on the upper body. All right, you ready? Let's come back into the second set. As she comes back up, she's gonna grab her 5-pound weights. Now, I like to choose a lighter weight when we do flies or lateral raises for the shoulder, because it's an easy exercise to get injured on. So if you think that 5s are too light, feel free to grab a heavier weight. If you think the 5s are too heavy, grab a 3-pound weight. We're gonna go with 5s for now. So again, we're gonna lift the pelvic floor, wrap the transverse, her ribs are closed, her lats are wide and down, and her head and neck are growing beautifully up out of her shoulders. And here we go. We're gonna squeeze the inner thighs together and raise, and lower, Excellent. And raise, keeping those ribs closed, and lower, and that's lovely. And raise, think about wrapping the abdominals, beautiful, and lower. Her stomach gets so much smaller as she draws in that transverse abdominis, like a girdle of muscle, wrapping around her spine and lower. And the lat activation is incredible. She's drawing her lats down towards her hips as she raises her arms. So these muscles aren't getting tanked out or overworked. She's working just her deltoids and stabilizing her shoulders with her lats, which is exactly what I want. The ribs are staying closed. And down, we're only gonna do one more, and we're gonna squeeze and hold and stay right there. And lift and pulse, good. We won't do many of these because it's getting a little difficult. And 5, and 6, good, hang in there. 7, and 8, and bring it down, good. Just shake out your shoulders a little bit. Whew, that's a tough one, I know. And we're gonna move on to a military press, and that's the last exercise in the series. So if you're tired, I'm sorry, suck it up. Here we go. Bring those arms up. She's gonna suck it up, so are you. Wrap that transverse abdominis, lift the pelvic floor, close the ribs, lats wide and down. Now, when we bring the arms up, here we go, they come up right over her forehead, not the top of her head, and unsqueeze and down. And let's add the inner thigh to that. And she's gonna squeeze and lift and down. Perfect, good. And squeeze and lift, beautiful, and down. And as she squeezes her arms up, she's zipping up her abdominals. So I want you to make that connection in your mind. Zip and open. It's an important connection. Zip it up. Good, and open, and the lats are reaching down. And zip, ribs close, that's the hard part, and open. Good, let's do a couple more. Zip it up, excellent, and open. She's really working her inner thighs, and zip it up, great, and open. 2 more. And zip it up, and open, last one, hang in there, and zip it up and hold, little pulses, and pulse, excellent, and pulse, there she goes, and pulse, good, just to make sure we get it, you know, we gotta be careful of these things. Really wrap that transverse abdominis, and 4 more, 3 more, wrap it, 2, to 1, and she comes down, she puts the weights on the floor, and she comes out into that lovely second position stretch, and release. Now it's a tough one, but sometimes you gotta push yourselves a little bit. So I hope that you made it through combination 5, and I'll see you soon.